So I just realized I recorded about 10 minutes and 24 seconds of my first kind of like visual audio diary series that I decided I wanted to start. And the audio on the entire thing was botched because I had this little jack plugged up to my phone from when I was binging Real Housewives of Atlanta recaps on my freaking computer, and I didn't want everybody to know, so I had it plugged up to my headphones, and because of that I just missed like all of this audio. And I'm pissed and I'm upset, but you know what? It's cool. Take two, whatever. Whatever. We're gonna roll with it. So this is kind of like I stated, like the first part of um this series. I'm not gonna try to figure everything out and try to explain all that it is, but it is kind of like a video diary series on Down to Mars. Something that I've been thinking about doing for a while. Just because there's something really fascinating about just talking to my MacBook and not having to set up like a tripod and get an SD card and getting the lighting and like getting the SD card reader and putting it into iMovie and then editing it. No, I'm just gonna do a little video diary, talk to the camera. This is me, Naya Nicole. What's good? And we're gonna do it like that from there. But what I was really going into and what I really wanted to make the point of in this particular first part is kind of getting into my motivation to make content, my motivation to do what I'm doing with my Down to Mars channel, with my Nine Nicole content, with my TikTok platform, with my desires as a content creator. And I'm gonna put it into the universe. I desire to create content for young women navigating their early 20s. Now, there's a lot of women doing that, and you might be like, well, and I shouldn't, and I think that's me saying to myself, well, if you say you want to make content for women navigating their early 20s, the first thing people are going to think is like, well, girl, you and like 20 million other people, but that's negative self talk. That's not y'all per se, even though I'm sure there are haters out there who are going to say negative things. But that's not the point. Um, you know, I find that with content, I've been wanting to make content since I was 16 years old. I am now 24. So it's been for 6 years um, of me really having the desire to be a full time content creator. And for whatever reason, procrastination, anxiety, X, Y, and Z, stress, it's been something that I put off for the better part of my desire to do it. Now, let's not get it twisted. I have been making content. I have two YouTube channels. I don't know what y'all are going to be watching this on. I'm just going to put it out there. I don't know if you're watching this on TikTok, YouTube. I don't even know because I'm just going to be putting things out there. But I do have content that I was making on one of my channels, and I was pretty consistent on there, but got thrown off due to some things going in a way I didn't anticipate. But I say that all to say, I want to take the stress out of the equation when it comes to producing and getting my ideas out of there. And I feel like me opening up this MacBook, sitting in front of this MacBook, turning on that camera, boom, clicking that button, and just talking and getting the ideas out there is better and easier and less anxiety inducing for me than to do the whole ritual of everything else. I'm gonna be real, I hate editing videos. That is probably, if I'm gonna be real, 1K, one of the biggest aspects of content creation that I don't care for. I like filming. I like the actual doing part of the creativity, but having to streamline, excuse these bangs, y'all. I need to cut them, but I don't really feel like doing that right now. But what do y'all feel about the hair? I got it for $24. It's synthetic, but I feel like it's cute. Big body? No? Anyways, um, what was I even saying? I lost my stream of thought, but um, just kind of turning on my camera and just talking to you guys. It feels so much more therapeutic for me, and I think it's a preferable form of content. Like sometimes just hearing somebody talk and just kind of understanding what they're going through can be therapeutic and can be awesome. But um, one of the things that I was asking myself, because I have like a journal. And if you are an aspiring content creator, then you could probably relate to this. You've probably written out ideas. You've probably talked at large about certain plans and visions that you have and certain things that you want to do. And one of the questions that I often ask myself with my desire to content create is like, who do I want to make content for? Because, and this is a whole nother thing, right? Okay, and this is a whole nother thing. I just feel like if you want to be an influencer in 2022, but you don't have, let me not say this the wrong way because this could be taken out of context. You're not aspiring to do anything other than what other people have influenced you to do. Don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking on anybody's hustle because some people at the end of the day, they're just like, listen, I'm here because I'm here to make some money and this is a business for me and I'm creating a brand for myself so that I can make money and support my family. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like even the culture surrounding influencing, so to speak, has kind of become homogenized. Like, it's kind of like there's this one particular algorithm for what a lot of influencers are doing and a lot of the content that's being created, and it's very cyclical. And I'm just like, if you want to become an influencer in 2022, especially being an influencer is such a saturated space. It's such a saturated space. And I think that's why me as a 24-year-old, I feel such anxiety sometimes. I'm like, damn, a lot of the influencers that are desirable for a lot of these brands are 18, 19, 20, and I feel like I'm kind of the pendulum of like my youth is like swinging in the other direction and I'm more within the mid 20s range, which is still completely fine. It's a lot of influencers 24, 25, 26, 27 plus doing a damn thing, killing it. But I just feel like the individual how do I say this? Individuality in the realm of influencing is becoming less and less. I'm not gonna lie, you can take, and this sounds so cynical, and I don't want to be cynical, but you can take 20 influencers in one room, all doing the same thing, and there's nothing specifically that stands out about what let's just say Brenda over here is doing to what Chloe over here is doing, because it's kind of like there's an influencer starter pack. You got this on, you have this look, you kind of dress like this, you kind of talk like this, you know, you're kind of into these specific interests, and maybe that's just the content that I've been coming across a lot of. But I don't know, it's just like, if you're gonna be an influencer, be yourself and be different. I don't know, that's a whole nother thing I can go into, but at the same time, it makes me feel very, very appreciative when I come across content where I feel like people are doing things that are outside of the norm, which again, in turn, is why I'm so hard on myself, because I feel like if I'm going to make content, I want to make something different. I don't want to be doing the same shit that 20 million other people are doing. 20 million other people are doing the same exact try on hauls, the same exact X, Y, and Z. And there's nothing wrong with that. But because I've tried to calculate a way to come up with an identity to really platform myself and make sense of the content that I desire to create, it's crippled me. Let me not say that. That's a very, very poor term. It has limited me in a lot of ways, by putting me in a situation where I don't feel like I have the mobility to pursue what I want and really know what it is. But now, and this kind of goes, I was talking about it in my other video with the audio kind of got cut off, because let me back it up a bit. For a very long time, and if this goes into this, it all connects. If it feels like it's all over the place, it kind of connects if you just let it blend. For a very long time, I have struggled with really coming to terms with my identity, understanding the woman that I am, understanding the person that I am, the human that I am, um, the reason why I feel the way that I feel, the reason that I have the perspectives that I have, the way that I communicate, the way that I see the world, the way that I see others, the way others see me. It's taken a long time for me to come into my identity, because for so long, especially throughout my early 20s, when I say early 20s, I'm talking about literally like 21 to 22, um, I was so wrapped up in other people's opinions and other people's perspectives of me that I literally had a very limited experience in that time, because I was very consumed with what other people thought of me. And it was not beneficial for me. It was not beneficial for the parties involved, but it kind of made me like a late bloomer. And it's funny because I actually wanted to make a podcast called the Late Bloomer Podcast because I thought like the concept of being a late bloomer is just something so interesting. And I know that there are other people that feel that way. But at the same time, I don't know. Like, I don't know if it's appropriate for me to call myself a late bloomer. I mean, I guess it depends on who's watching, right? It depends on who's watching. I don't know, and it depends. It's all late is all relative because time doesn't exist and everything's happening in a vacuum. Nothing is linear. Yada yada yada. But anyways, I find that and maybe it's just me, but I feel like turning 22 to turning 23, it was very very different. It was very very different. When you're in your like, and if you're watching this right now, and if you're 19 and if you're 20, I really would just push you, and I gotta sit up on this. I really would just push you, and this is gonna sound bad, to be selfish. Be selfish. If you are a young 18, 19, 20, 21, hell, even me, I'm 24. I still feel like I'm in that place. And when I say selfish, let me expound. When you are in such a young state and you don't know who you are, and you're trying to do everything for John, Joe, and Mary, you're gonna put yourself in a position to set your life up where you never really satisfy your own needs. And then you'll look back and you'll be upset and you'll be frustrated because you're like, well, dang, if I was just like, forget this guy up over here, what about me? What about Maya? What about myself? I feel like I'd be happier in this present moment. Because, and here's something I want to get clear. I don't give a damn if you 60. You're always going to have the opportunity to reinvent yourself and pursue the things that you want. That's number one. That's number one. But it's going to be limited to some extent as you continue to accumulate certain issues. You know, sometimes for a lot of us, in most cases, you may be in your prime health. I'm going to tell you right now. I hope right now it's not my prime health. I hope it goes up because there's definitely a lot that I want to get together with my health. Don't get me started on American healthcare. That's a whole nother episode. Don't get me started on that. But you are in a position when you're at this age and when you're at this stage in your life to pursue the things that you want to do. And you ain't got to give a damn about what nobody else. Okay, it's if you don't have children, of course. If you do have children, it is a different circumstance, of course. But if you don't have children, you are in a position to pursue the things that you want to pursue and do the things that you want to do. And you do not have to be attached to, tied down by, associated with anybody that is not helping you be the person that you want to be. And that is what I feel your early 20s and that time is for. It's for figuring out, it's for a level of selfishness. Now, I'm not saying that means you just need to be sniping people, being a evil person, because people associate the term selfish. Like, I personally, I associated the term with selfish as like a really big insult. Like, oh, that person's selfish. That person, you know, she only cares about herself. She doesn't give a damn about anybody else. She's only looking out for herself, and she's willing to cut anybody who stands in her way. There's a difference between being selfish and being selfish. You know what I'm saying? And we gotta learn to kind of separate the terms. We gotta learn to put this over here and this over here, because it's not all the same. It's not all the same. There are times where we can still be sacrificial and create boundaries for ourselves. I thought that I was not allowed to say that at that time. And when I was in that phase of my life, I didn't realize that I had the ability to just say, you know what? Bump it. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you think. And I don't care what you think. I have to do right now but what's best for me. And if I make mistakes along the way, that's better than making mistakes along the way and being open and being receptive to people. Um, Also, always trying to find people in your corner who you can lean on, but also having the ability to get through things and develop on your own. If you are in such a formative stage of your life and you're always looking for oh, I need a man, I need a woman, I need a job. Even me, I put too much pressure on these jobs. I feel like a lot of the times throughout my career, putting too much power to these jobs. F these jobs. Girl, no, I'm gonna say it. Fuck that job. Fuck that job. Listen, I'm going to tell you, fuck that job. Fuck that job. If it's not a place that you really want to be at, and if it's not a place that's benefiting you, and if it's not a place giving you what you need, fuck that job. And I'm saying it straight up. Because let me tell you something right now. There are plenty of other places that you can grow to and you can come into the possession of if you just allow your mind to think it. Because these jobs are really the biggest piece of matrix, like, out there. But yeah, like, don't put all these values in things that you don't value, things that aren't true to your character, and things that aren't going to honor you in the way that you're supposed to. You know, walk with God, know God, have God in your life. And this is also something that I've had to come to terms with. God in that relationship and that intimate space looks different for everyone. I let so many people influence my relationship with God. That's another thing. And that's another episode. That's another episode. That's another conversation. But if you do not have that relationship between the Most High and yourself, and the connection just between y'all, just that's just a one way, just y'all. If you don't feel secure in that, if you're feeling insecure in that, everything else around you in your life will falter. And I'm not trying to get preachy up on you, because I'm not, I'm a spiritual person, but I do believe taking care of the spirit, taking care of the inner self, the healing of that is important when it comes to being progressive and navigating your early 20s. Um and yeah, that's really what I wanted to say. Oh, and another thing that I just think is really, really important and really, really valuable and slept on, something that I think is so slept on when it comes to just being a young woman navigating early aspects of your life. And I understand not everybody is privileged to have this, but having a woman in your life who you respect and you revere and you feel like can give you the counsel and the wisdom and the encouragement that you need to get through difficult times is sometimes worth more than gold. No, it is worth more than gold. Having somebody who really loves you and cares for you and sees the potential in you and is encouraging you and praying for you, and is like an older woman who can talk to you. A woman, I'm talking like right now, I'm in my 20s, I'm 24, but I have an aunt and she's in her 60s. And, very similar to me, when I turned 18, I left home and I pretty much never came back. She kind of has a similar story. And I value her so much, and I understand not everybody has that, and that is a huge privilege. And I'm so, 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 so grateful for my auntie. I love her so much. But having a woman that like you can talk to, and a woman that is rooting for you, whatever that relationship is, especially just somebody who's older, like a mentor who can tell you, look, when I was at that stage of my life, I was going through something very similar. You're going to get through it. This is what I did. I don't know what's going to work for you. You're going to have to find that journey, but just that support. I value being encouraged so much from just wisdom. Like, I value wisdom. That's really what I'm saying. Like, be open to it, be open to wisdom, because it can save you from a lot, but don't allow other people's opinions, and you have to find wisdom that is wise for you. That's another thing, because not everybody's wisdom is applicable to you. It's a nuanced thing. It's a nuanced thing, and I know that might sound like contradictory, but if you have the ears to hear and understand what I'm saying, you will understand. There will be people who will try to pour wisdom into you, and it's not really wise for you. There will be people who tell you, oh, you need to do this. Oh, you need to stay at that job. You need to stay. That will be somebody's like wisdom of the day. It's like, you don't need to leave your job. And really, that's not what you want to hear. And that's not what you need to hear. You know what I'm saying? So finding people who are going to encourage you to step into your identity and your womanhood, worth more than gold. But with all that being said, I'm very, very excited to be 24. I turned 24 June 10th. Shout out Gemini gang, 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 gang. We be getting hate, but shout out twin. Um, but I really just wanted to say, if you are somebody who's interested in this type of content and just this type of discourse as well, because I really want to create a sense of community where there can be conversation to and fro, where we can just kind of piggyback off of each other's ideas and create community and safe spaces for, you know, women of color and where's my computer? Oh, it kind of blacked out for a moment. LGBTQ, everyone. I just want everyone to feel safe. I don't want to feel like there's anybody who comes to my content or comes across it and they feels like, oh, feels just isolated. Because as a Black woman who's been othered in many arenas, I know what that feels like, and I would never want to cause that to anybody. So if you're interested in just watching kind of like my video diaries, I had an idea to come up with a name, hashtag Black Carrie Diaries, um, because I'll be in New York and it'll be like a whole thing. And I actually, like, follow me on Instagram at Nia Nicole. I actually have been like hashtagging some of my photos that I was taking at NYC, like hashtag Black Carrie Diaries. So if that's something you would be interested, please follow along, subscribe, like this video. It will help me out a ton, and I had a lot of fun. And I hope I didn't sound too much all over the place. It's only because I had to do the video twice. But I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you somewhere in the galaxy. Bye.